Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back to the Mind Crush Palace with your host, the true party king of games, asking a pretty crazy question that I expect to be asking, which is, what happened at the last true ultimate time wizard at Italian Nationals in Bologna this last weekend? Because after going X1 day one, feeling really hot, only just getting sacked by Blackwings like always, I figured, it's gonna be so great. It's gonna be such a fun experience. I can't wait to get the first W with Gigaplant, even though honestly it was more of a Gigarillis brew, as you know I love to do. And I'll be posting the list in a little bit, but definitely, of course I'm not just going to be posting the Konami thing like every other YouTuber has been posting, because obviously at this point you've probably already seen it a million times. But yeah, waking up day two to that news that they're shifting the policy, I was like, oh no, do I have to play with the new rules right now? like between days? Thank God. Not till YCSMD, but still pretty terrible. I think there's only actually one other one, like German Nationals, where they're gonna have the original rules. That's crazy, not gonna lie. Like, the whole idea of this format is to play retro format, so I don't know why they would be splintering the community, because like obviously people that grassroots built this thing, like Keegan and such, aren't just gonna be like, okay, Konami, whatever you say. Like, no, obviously not. And even though I'll probably say that I have the most, I don't say base view, but the most like calm view of this whole thing, where personally I never competed in even a locals back in 2010 when I was playing, and then quit for like a decade. I just like the cards. I just bought the cards. I love the deck. I built Blackwings. I built Solidarity Wings back in the day. That was my bread and butter that I used to just beat all of my friends with all the time. It would rush that like, oh my gosh. They didn't have a chance. No other deck stood a chance. The fact that you could climb up with Whirlwind and Solidarity, oh my gosh. And like honestly, just like main a DD Crow, so you can like, your opponent attacks into what they think is like a weaker guy, because you put Solidarity up, but you have nothing engraved, so they're like, okay, whatever, let's attack Chain Crow. Just Chain Crow to that. Oh my gosh, that was always such a fun combo. And also play like Swallow's Nest. Oh yeah, no, that was the goo. Before I became plant-based, Lol, that's actually a funny term I didn't even think about till right now. But yeah, no, this is the list that I brought. Honestly, I feel like it's pretty solid. I mean, again, I literally, the thing with these stupid top 8s with like over 200 players is like, you go X1, you're not even guaranteed to top. That's crazy. Like, what? So the second I hit X2, I was like, all right, well, I mean, it's over. It's like, all right, get sacked by Blackwings a second time, great. And like, you're in such a hot streak, winning game after game. I beat X-Sabers. I beat a Glad Beast. I was like, oh baby, like this new list is cooking. I'm crushing all the terrible rogue matchups. When they open Whirlwind plus a decent normal and oppression, and like this guy had bottomless for the perfect time on my Gigaplant before I could go crazy. Had a Mirror Force for my recruiter that if he had bottomless for would have been freaking dead. I remember another time I played around Icarus by like setting a trap stun first. He set a card. And I was like, all right, that's probably Icarus, because he also has like a little bird. And then I was like, all right, so I'm probably gonna try and like chain pop these 2 back rows. So let me set 2 that are like very impactful. No, it was a freaking heavy storm. Ah, you know, you play around the 3 of, you get hit with the 1 of. But yeah, no, so that was a good list. I really have no complaints. As you can probably tell, I cut trade-in. Trade-in is gone. As far as I could tell, honestly, unless you're activating it in the first couple turns and you have multiple turns to profit off Amaryllis, the trade-in isn't really like that crazy. Like hitting trade-in turn 9 or something. Like it's great because you've probably been bricking on that 8 and it's been causing you to like go so neg for so many turns. So like finally hitting that is probably gonna feel great, but like honestly the value you're getting is, you know, it's so obviously you're drawing 2, so that's pretty nice, but I feel like instead running all of these discard traps is way more impactful, and especially when you learn the siding strategy. So against Glad Beast, Blackwings, X-Sabers, also didn't think I'd be running into it, but worked against X-Sabers too. And honestly, Vayu, I did this a bit too. Side out all the Amaryllis, side out Lila, side out all the Millers, side out Plague Spreader, side out Foolish Burial, siding all that out. My plan, you bring in all the hate, basically turn it into like a hyper control discard trap giga plant build. And I mean honestly, it was quite effective against the people that would be drawing the crows, and like literally had people just like resetting them in defense mode because they'd be drawing multiple crows. Oh yeah, against them it was crazy because like they see Amaryllis once, they think it's Amaryllis, so they just keep siding for that every time. So that was the idea, you know, play around an expectation of what I think they're playing, but you know, in the end, Blackwings kind of doesn't care when they open the crazy cards, so it is what it is. But I did crush, I mean, whatever, it's a little 8-man pod, but you know, I did crush this one 8-man pod with this little Giga Brew, I'd say. This Giga Brew that honestly, I think I like it a lot more than the same build. You can tell. No dandy. No. Oh wait, actually no, wait, my bad. This builder is dandy, as you can tell. I mean, I was in the thing poster again. It does, but we have in the side deck a whole little dark package with a lure, you know, sitting in the side. But I'll be honest, after playing, I mean, again, only freaking 3 games, so like, you're not gonna get like the most consistent testing. But because it was a Light Sworn, then like some weird Totem Dragon build, like, you know, regular dragons, and then Flame Veil. So, you know, like not exactly the top tier decks, but you know, still very strong. You know, you open cracked, it's cracked, but like just way too often. It would literally be like, okay, open 6 cards, all dead, nothing I can do. Gotta wait like 3 turns for either my Sark to resolve or for me to draw Foolish Burial and then go like, oh, okay. And then just... So, because of that, because I honestly really hate Super Soul Nutrient, it's just such a brick. Unless you're opening the copy or the Foolish for the dandy. You know what I did? This is the deck that I really think is killer. what I consider a 36 squared card build, because we're running the 3 upstart, but we're also running the allure, which in a way is an extra consistency booster that I feel like really helps with Gigavice in getting to its combo by, as you can tell, in this one, that's why I got confused, and this one, Dandy's out. All that super solar BS is out, and we're playing this spicy tomato package that just helps cards like Mark of the Rose and Fertilizer at least not just be completely dead. Like, again, we're kind of lowering the ceiling because we're not running the super busted, like, okay, we can foolish Dandy super solar nutrient, just like go crazy. The normal, like, you know, Gemini summon, basically set of Stardust, Titanial, and the Gigavice, and Power Tool probably. So, you know, in those situations, yeah, kind of hard to beat that, even though, like, honestly, one Colossal Fighter can kind of just cripple that whole thing. But, or when Ab-Zero, honestly. I'm not gonna lie, that board seems unbreakable unless they have the one good boss monster that does kind of break the whole thing. So, because of that, the way I see it, it's a little bit more down to the ground, and, you know, I feel like darks are honestly just, like, in general, the best cards. So, like, why not, you know, main Gores, main Tomato, obviously main the Sangan, because obviously the original idea in the first list of siding it, thanks to Pro Storm and Chess Prime, they really innovated with the whole idea of recruiters and plants are great post-side because they side out the Prison and the Caius, you know, at least some of them, if they're smart, to play around Titanial. And those have always been the worst counters to recruiters. And they side in the Dynas, which obviously this is like the best way to get around it. I mean, honestly, it's how I crushed so many Bio Turbo players at RPT New York, because they'd like put a set bottomless, summon Dyna, I'm like, tomato? Tomato, let's go. So yeah, no, I love Tomato. I think it's better than UFO Turtle in most situations, especially if you're running Damage Condenser. It's like, oh, yes. So then you can, like, crash into a Dupe Frog, take 600, summon Lone Fire right off the bat, and then you can just tribute Tomato too if you want, like, you know, an extra Lone Fire chilling there. Even though I kind of like the Tomato body, but like if we're already going through Sangan, I don't see no reason. But yeah, no, I love the idea that, you know, you can side into Gale, so you like mark Ashura, run over one of their guys, summon Gale from your deck, synchro into Power Tool, or Armor Master if you want to play that, or Black Rose, obviously. Like, that's like a +3 right there. So anyways, that is the innovation. As you can tell, we're back on the Tuscan mountaintop, where I hope to host one day a really sick Edison event. And you better believe we're playing with the original rulings, even though, like I was hinting at before, but I guess I didn't finish the train of thought. I personally never went to a locals, never went to a tournament, so I never had judge rulings telling me this or that is not how that card works. I would just read the card and interpret it. So, you know, maybe the Konami rules actually, you know, aren't going to be the worst thing in the world. And, you know, if the Ultimate Time Wizard only has 7 players and you're that 8th player, hey, you just got a free mat. What's there to complain about? You got a free mat. Who cares if, you know, no one in our community will respect you as topping a real event? But, you know, money, profit, come on. And, like, you know, maybe 6 Sams and X Sabers are going to get better because, whoa, Gozid and Rivalry are in the meta. But, like, at the same time, Blackwings and Bayou are now stronger, which are already like 2 of the best decks. So yeah, obviously Lone Fire chipping itself with Prio is also annoying. But, you know, now Nettles is like the only way you're getting into Goyo anymore besides X-Saver, so honestly, you know, I'll wait and see. I'll wait and see. I feel like honestly, the 2 worst things about it are the fact that it might impact the local scene, which is like, I mean, come on. I know people are memeing like, oh, people really think Konami will ban an OTS store if they use priority. And it's like, you know, Konami hires frickin' people to stalk Facebook pages to see if they're selling products on their own personal page and then banning them for it. Like, they've done cringe stuff like that before. I would not put it past them, even if it's not one-to-one correlation. You know, you do a couple scummy things, you kind of get what you deserve, in terms of people's interpretation and expectations of you. So, Konami, and also, you know, here's a funny thing. At Nationals, obviously it happened right there, trying to find anyone at this Nationals event that had any kind of authority to really voice their complaints about. Like, what a joke. Like, maybe at NA Nats, like, I think they do have, like, these high authority people that maybe you can talk to, even though they're always, like, on some freaking high podium. You gotta, like, you know, it's just, I don't know. It's just kind of scummy overall that, like, literally everyone there is like, like, I'm with you there, but, you know, what can I do? I'm a little employee. And it's like, you know, you can't, like, don't get mad at those people. They're just doing their job. But it's just, like, kind of silly that there was no one there that could really feel like, oh, you know, I'm taking your opinion into consideration and we'll relay it up from here. No. No. So, I'll leave you on this, I guess a bit longer than usual podcast episode, with the fact that in the end the splintering of the community is going to be very bad. You know, having people showing up to locals, some expecting the, you know, the new Konami ruling, some that have been playing the game forever, in this version forever, expecting that to continue. That's going to be a problem. All these things are going to be problems. And obviously, you know, finding judges that know how these things are worded, and the fact that as more and more formats like Redo and Tengu gain popularity, it's going to be more and more complicated to find people that know the rulings during those periods, because these things like keep changing back and forth. Like, what is it? Like, now with the new rulings, if you like DD Crow a Dandelion, Dandy doesn't go off. Like, oh my god, no. Like, that's so sad. But the fact that like it kind of like goes back and forth over the years, like, yeah, I understand. Like, that stuff is like super confusing. And being able to just say like, overall, it works like if we were to play it in Master Duel, I can understand that one positive of people being able to more easily enjoy multiple formats without having to, you know, memorize a whole bunch of janky rulings that are differentiated between the two. Will cause more of an ease of entry, and that is a positive thing. So I don't think it's all 100% negative, but I mean, at the same time, don't mess with the local scene. Come on. If you want to do that for Ultimate Time Wizard, not gonna lie, I always kind of preferred, 100% preferred RBETs to Ultimate Time Wizards, because you really, like, just beyond how the event is organized and everything, just the vibe, the people there, playing. It just kind of feels like the greediness of Konami is being spiritually imprinted onto the players there, where I have never had so many people complaining, and even me personally experiencing like this kind of light cheating, like this guy at, you know, the one Ultimate Time Wizard I went to before I realized this, that Ryo can't negate Lone Fire, but like, I didn't know that, and I didn't realize till later. I'm like, oh, it's a common thing these people are doing, where they just like, you know, I lose a Titanial, so might as well try and cheat and see if they, you know, call me out for it or not. And it worked out for them. Great. I had a close friend of mine who was almost about to top. He literally like had a full board ready to kill this frog player. He had a freaking heavy storm set, wasn't doing anything, but he just kept like checking it, being like, think, oh, think. Oh, is that time? Oh, phew. Oh, look at that. And it's like, that's the kind of BS that I've just never even heard happening at an RBET. It really feels like the chillness, the vibes, the fact that it's an event that's really put on for the fans, really put on for the community. It really doesn't feel like anyone there is in it for the money. And in the end, that mindset is going to grow more than this more corporate-driven method ever will. It's like, I've never flown to an Ultimate Time Wizard. I've flown to RBTs. RBT New York, RBT Vegas, happy to fly there. I was like, oh, let's go. Let's freaking go. I am pumped. 2 Ultimate Time Wizards, it was like Orlando. Yeah, my buddy's driving up there. I'll just hop in the car, pass out, and I'm there. RBT, or Ultimate Time Wizard Bologna, just took a train. It was super easy. I literally learned about it a week before, and I was like, I guess I'll pop up over there. If it wasn't like right in my neighborhood, I wouldn't bother. And honestly, I don't think you should either. Unless you're already going to Nats and you're just like, you know, let's just get an easy, big, giant card, because not gonna lie, the competition is gonna be a lot lower quality. Unless you have that mindset, I wouldn't bother. I wouldn't bother. So, that is the true Party King from the Mind Palace. And Leo, say hi. Leo, there you are. Who's a good boy? Who's a good boy? You. He is such a good boy, right, Leo? Right, Leo? Anyways, we're signing out. See you guys next time. Oh yeah, I also gotta post the things I topped like a fiber jar tournament, so I gotta post something about that too, because that was a lot of fun, and I definitely want to try it again. Later!